today we are gonna tackle the pantry. The day has arrived. I finally have a couple of hours to dedicate to this pantry right here. I figured I'd take you along. Excuse the mess. It's one of those days. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can see. We are 8 weeks into the pantry challenge, and this is what we have. I say 8 weeks. We just finished 7 weeks of the pantry challenge, so we're heading into the 8th week. Finally, just now getting an opportunity to get in here, and I figured we will do it together. You can see the shelves are not nearly as full as they were. And I do not have a light in my pantry, but you can see there's some empty. These bags only have like just a couple of things in them. And this is what I have on these shelves. These 3 are empty. So we've done good, but we still have more work to do. And the goal is not to eat every single thing we have. The goal is to eat things that we don't typically eat that we want to use up in the pantry. My main goal was the freezers, not the pantry, but since we're doing this, I figured now is a good time to tackle this as well. But there's some things like, for instance, these sardines. We haven't eaten any the whole pantry challenge, but this is one of my favorite go-to lunches when I'm busy working in the garden. So there's some stuff that I probably won't touch now, but in a couple of months from now, I will be eating this stuff. I'm not gonna bore you with having you watch me pull everything out of the pantry. I just wanted to give you an idea of what's left going into week 8. And now I'm gonna do some major cleaning, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what we're gonna use in the next few weeks and the rest of the challenge, and hopefully we'll get a meal plan going. A few minutes later, have one shelf empty, and we'll do one shelf at a time. That way, if I have to stop for some reason, I'm not overwhelmed and the whole pantry is not empty. I'll just take it one shelf at a time. We can go through some of the things. I'll show you what I'm keeping out and what I'm putting back in. There's just a few left in here, and these chocolate candies. Everybody eats the pistachios. I'm pretty much the only person that eats these things. Almost a full bag of raisins, and everybody eats the raisins. These RX bars, I am the only person that eats these. I don't eat them while I'm here at home, but I like to keep them in the car. I'm gonna put this over here. I do not eat these, but other people in the house eat these protein bars. Intermittent fasting, chocolate nut crunch. I had gotten these on clearance for company we were having, and I think they ate one, and then they left, and then nobody else has touched them. I don't think anybody else in the family has ever even tasted that. I might open one and see if they like it. If they like it and they'll eat it, I'll keep it. If not, we're gonna make a bin to bless someone else. Same thing with the vanilla yogurt covered raisins and this paleo pancake and waffle mix. Both of these things are a result of things that I knew that company liked. We've had a lot of company over since we've moved here, and every time I know someone's coming, I try to get some of their favorite things, and then they're not here long enough, they leave, and then we're left with it. That's one of the main things that I want to work on this year. I want to make more stuff from scratch. I haven't had time to do that, so I just pick up convenience stuff that I knew they'd like, and then it wouldn't all get eaten. Here we have more raisins. So these need to be used probably before these, but they're both open. This is actually given to us, and it's just been sitting in the pantry. There's only a few of these left, and we have open croutons that were best by May 3rd, 2023. I don't even know if this is still good anymore. Let me taste one. Oh, they smell fine. How long do croutons stay good? I'm scared. That's a long time. Wow. That tastes like it's never even been opened before. Okay, well, we definitely need to use this soon. Here's that box of graham crackers. I bought these at Sam's. They were on sale, but they were not on clearance. I bought a big pack because we were having a lot of company over, and I thought we would be making a lot of s'mores in the fire pit. So I bought this 4-box set. Well, they expired September 23rd, and we've not even used one box. Everybody just wanted roasted marshmallows and didn't want the s'mores. So I definitely need to do something with 4 boxes of s'mores. Tostadas. And this is another thing. We have this specifically for when we have little ones over. All right, so now that I've kind of gone through this, I'm gonna put it back in the pantry, and I'm gonna organize it in what we're gonna use, what we're gonna get rid of, and what we need to use up first. All right, shelf 2. Empty. Let's go through what we had on the second shelf. This is more for company. I'm not in a rush to use this. Air dried persimmon slice. I like to snack on these, and I'm gonna put that with my other snacks. This is another snack that I like. I usually pick one up in the fall and it lasts me all year. In fact, I haven't even opened these. Red lentils. This has never been opened. This is something that I had used for a sweet charcuterie board, and there's only a few left. This is something that I've had for a while, so I would like to use that up. So I'm gonna put that there. Now here is something that I had picked up on clearance. I thought I was gonna use for Valentine's Day because of the pink. I did not, so I think I'm gonna put this back in the pantry, and we might do something for Mother's Day or Easter with that. Cons, I have more in the freezer. I'm not in a rush to eat these. It's just something I always like to have. I would like to try to do something with this because it's open. So I'm gonna put this one up here. We have some farro, split green peas, and some quinoa. I'm not in a big rush to use these, but I have them if we decide we need them to complete a meal. Unsweetened applesauce. I take raw garlic and applesauce when I'm not feeling well. I'm not in a big rush to go through this. It would be good if we decide to use this, and these are not open. They will go back in the pantry with the things that are not open. So here is the next shelf. None of this stuff necessarily has to be open right now, but there is some stuff that I would like to use that we don't typically gravitate towards. So I'm gonna go ahead and add these things to the stuff I'd like to use while we're on the pantry challenge, and then the rest of the stuff we have if we need. So we're doing pretty good. We've gone through the first, second, third, the fourth shelf actually. This shelf I refilled the cereal. This is some Crispix that I might use for some kind of snack mix. That's just salt and pepper and some beans up there and peanut butter powder. This is everything that's fine if we don't go through it before we end the pantry challenge. I'm gonna make one more shelf of everything that I don't mind if it stays, and then I want to have one shelf of everything that I want to get rid of. Plus, I still need to pull out everything from the bottom. So we're moving on to this fifth shelf. But first, I wanted to show you something really quick. I use bay leaves to line the shelves in my pantry. I find it's a wonderful deterrent from bugs, and they last a really long time. I like bay leaves. I also like clove. Clove helps keep the ants away. I did not even know I had this. Sell by 3/17/24. So these are still good, but I am gonna want to do something with these. And then serrano noodles. But this is what really surprised me. Remember when I made the cookies and I said I had no chocolate chips? I have a giant bag. Like, not only do I have that little bag here that I had found on clearance, but I also have this big giant bag. So we're gonna do a lot more baking. And I have cheap food I did not even know I had. And it's holding the coconut milk, so we're definitely gonna have to do something with coconut milk. And then I have this. Now, I've never tried this. I bought it a long time ago at Costco on clearance because we love mushrooms. Holding a Rotel. I have these mandarin oranges that's never been opened. We definitely need to do something with that. Grain-free chips. I'm excited for goodies that I found. Okay, I gotta stop for now. My time's up. But this is everything that I want to get through before we end the pantry challenge. On the side of my freezer is where I keep my bulk food items. In these buckets, I have kamut, whole wheat pastry flour, einkorn. And then in this one, I have sugar in the raw. This is what my husband uses for his coffee, and I buy that in bulk. I find you get better deals. And in these buckets, they need to be cleaned. They're so filthy. But in this one, I have rice. I have another container in the house that's pretty much empty. This is our medium grain Louisiana rice that we get in Louisiana. And this bucket is empty. This is where I kept a mix of my coconut sugar and brown sugar. And I buy both. I buy the coconut sugar, then I buy the brown sugar, and then I mix it together. And this is my go-to sweetener of choice. So I'm out of that, and I just wanted to give you an update. All right, now it's time to take a look at this inside freezer. It's been 2 or 3 weeks since the last time we've looked through the freezer. You're making more progress. I'm having more trouble with this freezer right now. It's off of the gliders. And I don't know if you can see all of this ice buildup at the bottom. When we first started this pantry challenge, I thought the frost in this freezer was because I had accidentally not closed it, but I think we're having other issues. That being said, this is my top priority. I know I've said it from the beginning, but I go and I pull stuff from the other freezers. There's room in here now, so I'm gonna go through the other freezers and pull out if there's anything that I think has to be eaten. We're gonna add it to this, and if there's anything in here that can be moved over there that doesn't necessarily need to be eaten right away. These are a treat that we like to have just a few times a year. It's not a necessity to try to eat this on the challenge. So I'm gonna take this out. Kirkland spinach and cheese ravioli. Although this is quick and easy, it's not pressing and it doesn't necessarily need to be eaten right away. It says potatoes, but it's really vegetables to make broth. So we can make that. We definitely can clear out this compartment. Gourmet butter that's been open, that's just sitting in here. This is a big pack of diced roasted turkey breast that needs to be eaten. The cherries, they don't necessarily all have to be eaten. I would like to go for it. We have some ready-made pizza dough. We have some frozen bananas. We can make use of some more bell peppers. Okay, so that's for the top drawer. We have more peppers, more vegetables, some sausage, pretzels, some more pizza dough, acai packs. We have two of these. I don't necessarily have to go through both of these, but I can take one out. This right here, I have no idea what this is. We're gonna take it out and let it defrost and see if we can figure out what it is. It's not good to not label your stuff. It's to be used. These steaks, they don't necessarily need to be used right away. Now this, on the other hand, is something that's been sitting in here that I had gotten for a treat from my husband as an appetizer. He's the only one that likes lamb. And I like to make an appetizer for him for this, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this out. I wish I could have done that for Valentine's Day. Sausage, some more ground beef. Okay, this right here, I would like to use up all this stuff. This is some giant shrimp that was store-bought, wild caught shrimp from Costco. Okay, I'm gonna go to the other freezers and we're only gonna pull out the things that we think absolutely have to be eaten. Now let's take a look at this freezer and get an update. There's a lot of space in here. We are making some progress. I think if I were to rearrange everything like I will in the next coming few weeks, I'll be satisfied. We're basically gonna grocery shop our freezer. So bags of broccolini need to be used up. Or Instapot chicken. All of this can stay. Okay, on this one, I have lots of blueberries. Maybe I might get to canning some blueberries. Hopefully we'll get to that. If not, I'm satisfied with the way this is. So let me pull this spread rolls. We can get that out of here. Fine onions and some pepper jack cheese. Some beef. We have a variety of different things. None of it's pressing. Like none of the seals are broken. Now my alarm's going off. I need to shut it. Okay, now we have our bag pretty full and not come in this freezer at all anymore, except to organize it. So let's go get this in the freezer in the house and then we'll see how much space we have and then we'll tackle our last freezer. Here's a look at the stuff I pulled out the freezer that does not have to go back into the freezer in the kitchen. The pepper jack cheese can go in the refrigerator, and the bagels and the tortillas, the cheese, the Panera Mexican street corn chowder. These can all go in the refrigerator. The seeds I'm gonna put in the refrigerator for today, and maybe tomorrow or the next day I'm gonna go through them and we're gonna go ahead and start some seeds. This, I don't know what it is. Again, I did not label it. So I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator. We're gonna defrost it and it'll be a surprise. Whatever it is, we're gonna find a way to make use of it. And some Starbucks Organic Winter Blend coffee, that can stay out. So these things are gonna go in the fridge or they're gonna stay out. And then this is what's left. So we're gonna go ahead and add this stuff. Fellini, the Instapot chicken, and the fine chopped onion. Still have space in here, so I'm gonna go through that last freezer and I'll see if there's anything that has lost a seal that has to come out. If it doesn't have to come out, I'm not gonna add it to this. Welcome back, friend. It's the next day. Everything that I want to get through on this pantry challenge is on this shelf. If I step back and I look at the pantry, it looks almost fuller. That's only because I have a couple of more larger containers that's taken up some space, and most of this stuff at the bottom has been moved out. Everything's just been reorganized. Now this rack, I have not gone through yet. I still need to go through and wash all the empty containers. I realized one of the main reasons why I have not been in a hurry to refill these is because I don't like them. I bought them on Amazon because they were square and they fit perfect. That's why I chose them. They were supposed to be airtight, but they are not airtight. If I take my fingers and I push, I pop that open really quick. I don't like the fact that it's not a true airtight seal, and so I'm cautious of what I put in there. I don't want to invest in more, and I want to make use of what I have, but I don't know what I could put in them. Now, I want to fill them with something that it doesn't matter if it's not an airtight container. So if you have any suggestions, what would you use these for? So as I was putting everything back on this shelf, I just took inventory and I made a list. Most of the time, I'll just grab 1 or 2 items that I want to make a meal around, and then I think 4 or 5 different things I could possibly make, and then I say, which one of those 4 or 5 do I have the ingredients for? Or can I make substitutions, or I come up with something different? We're gonna take the extra time, we're gonna make a list and see if we can't go through some of this stuff quicker that way. This is the inventory of everything that's in the pantry that I wanna use, and this is the new inventory of everything that's in the freezer that I wanna use. So I'm gonna take both of these, and we are gonna try to come up with a menu. Let me bring you closer in. This is a look at my freezer inventory up close, and then this is a look at my pantry inventory. I find it's easier to meal plan this way, and so I just wanna share in case some of you may be interested. As I'm going through and writing down items, I separate them into categories. For instance, in the freezer, this is all of the protein. This is the vegetables, this is the spices or cheeses or meal helpers, fruits, and then other. And then I did the same thing in the pantry. I have a section for sides, I have a section for sweets, I have a section for breakfast stuff. I personally find it's easier and helpful to meal plan when everything's broken up this way. So that's the first thing I want to show you. The second thing is at the top, I use signs that help me. So I used stars for items I saw that I wanted to use first. I also used this little dash symbol for the items that I left in the ice cream freezer because the bags were too big. This bag of mixed vegetables and this bag of green beans. Now the use first. I have a couple of things on this page: sausage, honey roasted turkey breast, and Mexican style street corn chowder. And this is because I accidentally dropped this while I was trying to take inventory. And then in the pantry I had a couple of things too: pumpkin bisque and the corn tostadas. So it's very helpful to be able to have some type of order to this big old giant list of all these food items. Once you transfer all the stores to your menu, you basically have 5 meals to start right off the bat. Now, Mexican corn chowder is only 1 small container, and it's not enough to feed my whole family. So I have to ask myself, okay, how can I take this Mexican corn chowder and stretch it? How can I use some of these other things to make enough to feed my family? What can I add to the Mexican corn chowder to make it enough to feed my family? Well, I'm gonna start with what's already in there. On the back of the corn chowder, it says it has black beans, it has corn. So I'm gonna see, do I have black beans? Do I have corn? Let's see. Pantry, black beans. So I'm gonna put tri-bean blend. And yes, I have corn. I'm gonna put corn. And I need more cream. I'm making it bigger. I need more cream. So do I have? Yes, I have whipping cream. Okay, and I'm not gonna do all of them right now, but this will give you an idea of how I do it. This tri-bean blend. I am not scratching this out right now. I do not scratch off my inventory list until I'm about to cook. When I'm about to cook, all of the ingredients that I use, I go and I mark them all. That way, if I change my mind or if I decide to use a different ingredient, I'm not confused of what I have and what I don't have. And I don't have to go dig in the pantry every time. So here's 5 meals right off the bat. Well, honey roasted turkey breast. This looks like ham. So I'm gonna put, looks like ham. So it might be turkey, but I'm gonna treat it as ham. I'm gonna look and see what else I have that I might want to pair with this. And that's how I menu plan. Now, this is not enough for a whole week. This is only 5 days, but this was a great start. I'll put this paper here, and then I will look at some of these other things that may not have had a store, but I'll see what sounds good. And so I came up with a list, and I'll keep going. I might come up with 4 times more than I need, or I might come up with not enough. It's just like a little brainstorming exercise. And this is what I came up with so far. I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna put them on my refrigerator. Transfer them to the side of my refrigerator. And now I have a list of 14 possible meals. I can wake up in the morning and I can say, what do I feel like today? And then pick one. Today I think I'm gonna make pizza bagels. Well, then I know it's very easy for me to pull the ingredients out that morning before you head out the door. This way you're not tied down. Suppose I wanna do something that takes 40 minutes to cook, but I only have 10. Well, then I can switch over and I can say, oh, oh, well, pizza bagels only takes 10 minutes. So that's what dinner is tonight. Or I can get home and I can say, oh, I have an extra 40 minutes today. I now have an hour and a half to cook versus 30 minutes. So what do I want to cook today? Oh, I think I'm going to make hash brown casserole. And you have some flexibility. And then I will take these two. By the way, I did not take inventory of everything that's left in the fridge because number one, there's not much left in there. And number two, it wasn't necessary. It's just another step that would take more time. If you feel like your refrigerator's full and it helps you to be able to have a written visual, then take the time and that. Just taped it to the inside of the cabinet right next to the refrigerator. So I can wake up in the morning and I can say, what do I want to eat today? And I can open this cabinet while I'm waiting for the coffee to finish making, and I can say, okay, I have this and this and this and this. This is one of the easiest, most flexible ways to meal plan. I just wanted to share this in case it helps someone. Something else I have done in the past is I've also separated each thing by time. How long would it take for me to prepare this? And I'll put a number next to each one. If something is in the freezer, I will pull it out and put it in the fridge in the morning, but I will not mark it off of this list until I get ready to cook. And that is because if I wake up in the morning and I say, hey, I think I want to make hash brown casserole, and I mark everything off the list, and then I get home and I'm like, oh, I have no time. We need dinner like in 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to make, this flatbread. So if I have to make this flatbread, then I've already scratched everything else off the list, and then it has to go in the fridge for the next day, but then it also gets confusing because what if the next day time doesn't work out the way you think it does? So for me personally, I'll pull it out in the morning, but I won't scratch it off the list until right before I cook. When I'm prepping the food and I'm cooking the food and I'm 100% certain that I'm using it, that's whenever I will mark it off the list. I hope this helps someone. Until next time.